What's up, YouTube? I'm Trickster, and today I'm going to be doing a tier list video on all the predecessor heroes. I've been really enjoying this game recently. I've been streaming it constantly at twitch.tv/Trickster. I'm going to be kind of covering this game on builds and different characters that are going to be coming out in the future, which we just got an announcement today that Grim.exe from Paragon is going to be joining the roster to making it 35 characters in total. Um, and I'm gonna be covering that right when it comes out. I'm gonna be streaming it, of course, on Trickster on Twitch. Um, but I'm gonna be going to be doing build videos and just lab work on different characters and stuff. Um, but yeah, if you do like this content, definitely leave a like, subscribe. I would really appreciate it. I want to be consistently uploading builds and stuff like that going in the future. But yeah, today I'm going to be doing a tier list video of all the heroes that are currently in the game and how the build works uh, in the game for them. I'm just going to be doing their main category of what their role is supposed to be. I'm not going to do their side roles or sub roles, whichever way you guys say it. Um, but yeah, I know that different characters and different heroes in this game can do different things. Like an ADC can be mid and like blah 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 blah, so on and so forth. You can build them way different than any other MOBA that I've played. So, yeah, let's just get right into it. So the first character that we got here is Countess. I really think that she's very strong. Um, in the mid lane, jungle, very good, but we're gonna stick with mid lane because that's basically her main role. Mid lane, very easy to poke out. She's very easy to poke out. If she can't get in, then it's very hard for her to ramp and everything like that because her passive is just you're getting hero kills, you're getting that constant life regen on her passive, which is really good. But if you can't do that, then it's very hard for her to ramp and uh farm. So in my honest opinion, I think she belongs in B tier as a mid laner as well. Like, but in the jungle, I would definitely put her in A plus. Her in the jungle, very strong. Her in mid lane, pretty decent. I don't know. I would put her in A tier, but probably bottom of A tier in my honest opinion. Um, but yeah, I really haven't put too much time into Countess, really at all. But from what I've seen, other people playing her and just effective wise against me, I just I don't think she's very viable on a team if she's built poorly and just can't ramp early game. If she can't ramp early game, it's just very bad for her throughout the whole game. Let's just go on. Let's move forward. Crunch, very good. He is the playmaker of the team. He very good. I think he's a offlaner. Apparently, I think he's a fighter, of course. Um, he gets outclassed by another hero on the tier list, in my honest opinion, and he's very good at playmaking. He knows how to initiate a fight. He knows how to like leave a fight if he needs to. Um, and he does a lot of damage as much as like very durable as well. If you build him correctly, he's very strong right now if you know how to build him. In my opinion, for the offlane role, I'll put him in A plus. Can't go wrong with this pick. Literally, you're just the playmaker. So let's just move forward. We're gonna go on through Deco, or Decker. Sorry, not Deco. Sorry. Decker, very good support. Of course, gets outclassed by a different support, in my opinion. Um, but very strong. Her Q is very good. Her cage is really good, and her laser drone, her right click is also very good. Um, very strong. If you can land those and get those skill checks going on with her, very strong. You're gonna be your ADC's best friend if you can hit all those. So I will definitely put her in A plus in my opinion. She is outclassed by another hero on the list. Um, pretty Miller Road support in my opinion. There's also another. There's like two supports in this list that are just better, the best two picks all around for a support role. Let's move on. We got Drongo. Drongo's very strong. He has a gas nade. He has a boomerang for a slow. He has his ult that launches him back, but does a crazy ton of damage if you build correctly. Gets outclassed by another character, like maybe two, three characters on the ADC role, but very, very strong, nothing less. My honest opinion, A. In my opinion, he has a silence bomb. Very, very good. Um, Feng Mao. Now, Feng Mao is very, very strong in the jungle. Off laning, not all that strong, but in the jungle, he can be very, very deadly. So, in my opinion, I kind of want to go for jungle Feng Mao, since that I feel like that's where he strives at. Um, but yeah, he could be off lane, he could be jungle as well. I've seen him as well as a support. I don't know why, but some people like that. Uh, but yeah, in my opinion, I think he's an A jungle. I think there's this other faster clears, faster ramping, just better ganking opportunities with different characters. A lot of more like CC and stuff like that for that for those team fights and stuff. I think he's A, um, but I haven't seen anybody that crazy use him. Kind of get used to his kit. Um, but yeah, let me go to Gadget now. Gadget is a mid laner and she can also be a support. But I'm gonna go for her mid lane capabilities. Her ability power and her poking damage is insane with the drones. As well as her Tesla Dome ult, crazy. It's very, very strong. Um, so in my honest opinion, I think she's an A plus hero in right now at least. They might buff her in the next update with the Grim.exe update coming on the 11th. Who knows? They got a whole bunch of patch notes coming soon for that. So I'll definitely cover that on this channel. So feel free to leave a like and subscribe for that later on video. Let's keep going. So Gadget, very, very good. Uh, very heavy on the poking and like just gaining area, denying area. Good, good, good. Um, Gideon, my honest opinion, one of the best mid laners right now. He is super strong in the mid lane. He has a get out tool, which is his portal. He has a slowing like right click, which is his rock, and he also has a boulder that he just throws down from the heavens above on the people, doing massive, massive amount of damage. Not to mention his ult. His ult is just crazy, but it can be easily countered if you don't use it correctly. There's a lot of stuns. There's a lot of pulls. There's a lot of silencing but abilities in this game for really everybody. Like everybody basically has one, so it's very, very hard. If you can't use it correctly, you're going to get pulled out of your ult 9 times out of 10. But you have to use it correctly. Um, So, in my opinion, I think he's S plus or S. In my opinion, he's very, very strong, very situational. Not very situational. He works on basically every team. Uh, to be honest, he one of the best mid laners. That's all I really got to say about him. So next we got Greystone. Greystone is very, very strong right now. In my honest opinion, lower elo. He's very, very strong. A lot of people don't know how to counter it. A lot of people don't know how to fight a Greystone somewhere. But he's very, very strong in off lane. He's very strong in jungle. He's very strong. He's very strong all around. He's very consistent where he's at. So if you like a very consistent character, this is definitely the character to pick. If you like off laning or jungling, this is a very strong pick. In my opinion, I think he's at the bottom of S, but very, very strong if you can build into it. Um, so that's all I gotta say about Greystone. Very strong, very consistent. You're not gonna go wrong with them if you use them. Really, that's all I gotta say. Grux. Okay, so Grux, I use both in jungle and off lane, but I'm just gonna go with his off lane potential. Um, he's a playmaker just like Crunch. He's able to work the field the best of his ability, make space, create space, deny area. He's very, very good. He's very aggro. If you like an aggro character, this is definitely the one to go for sure. Um, he has a pull, which is his Q. He has an E, which is a launch up stun. His right click is also a double cleave attack, which doubles the applies on hit. So that means his bleed effect, his passive, double hits you. So his bleed cuts you twice, which is very, very strong when you're just wanting to get out of a fight and you want to do crazy dot damage to somebody. Use your cleave, and they're gonna probably bleed to death if they're below like 5% health. It's very, very strong. His ultimate is very, very good. He gets a little attack speed buff and a physical damage buff. Very, very strong. There's nothing I can say. Top of S tier. Top of S tier. Very, very strong. All right. Next character that we got on the list is Howitzer. Howitzer is very, very strong in mid lane. If you can build him correctly, he's really an unstoppable force. But like I said, I think Gideon is just a little bit better for those get out tools. A little bit. He's just very, very safe. Gideon is very, very safe in the mid lane. Howitzer on the other way, on the other side of things, I don't think he can be very safe. He's very open if he's gets caught off guard by a jungler. So, in my opinion, bottom of A plus. I think he's very, very good, very solid character, very strong. Um, Nothing that I could really say is his slows are good, his stuns are good, his area of denial is good, his ultimate's very, very good. But I just think his getaway tools are very, very bad because you have to waste your blink 9 times out of 10 with Howitzer of getting away. So, and that's a 5 minute cooldown, so that's not optimal for a character like that. So, Kallari is the next character that we got on the list. In my honest opinion, very, very annoying to deal with if you don't know how to put wards down. If you don't know how to put wards down, he's very, very hard to counter. But if you know how to put wards down and put in a jungle everywhere, uh, just make sure that you're putting those down. And he's very easily countered. He'll pull him out of his invisibility and stuff like that. It'll spot him on the map. Very, very good. I think he's an A plus jungler. He's not really anywhere else on the field other than jungle. Very, very strong in jungle, but I think he or he's in A tier right now. So Chimera, in my honest opinion, is very, very good. This is the next character that we're going to, carry, put on a tier list. In my honest opinion, very, very strong in jungle. Very, very healthy. So he's very consistent in jungle. He's like a Greystone. Very consistent. Very easy to use. In my honest opinion, I think ease of use is very, very big in this game. Um, but yeah, I think Chimera is very, very strong, very consistent, but gets outclassed by a few junglers like Grux, Crunch, and Kallari, in my opinion. But if you can use him correctly, he's very, very strong. Build him correctly, very strong. His abilities are very useful. But I think there's other junglers that can, be as beneficial to a team instead of just solo play. So in my opinion, I think he's on the bottom of A tier. Not super weak, not super strong, middle of the road kind of jungler, very beginner friendly. Next character that we're going to go into is Kira. So Kira is very, very strong, very ability oriented. I wasn't expecting her to be very ability oriented as an ADC. But very strong nonetheless. Her attack speed can get very, very crazy. Her penetration can get very, very scary. Her ultimate is very, very strong. If you know Reaper from Overwatch, that's basically her ultimate. She can get into like a Gideon ult and just pop her ult and just kill literally everybody. Is very, very strong. But by herself with a support, I don't really see uh quite as much as the use of her as other ADCs on this list, in my honest opinion. But she's very strong nonetheless. I think she's middle of the road A tier, right next to Drongo, kind of the same category with them too. Not too strong, not too weak, very good though. All right, next character is Lieutenant Belica. Belica is very, very strong in the mid lane, but also very strong as a support. But mid lane is for sure very, very strong. She can get a launch up. She has a drone. She has like this little drone bomb thing that's really good. Her pistol is very, very good. On her ultimate is just kills things immediately. It just deletes them. It's crazy. But yeah, I think her area of denial is very, very strong. Her bomb's very good for clearing waves out of minions. Her launch up as well is very, very good. Does a lot of damage as well. I think she's an A plus character in my opinion. Very, very strong. Her wave clear is very, very useful, very strong. But I think she just gets outclassed by another mid laner in my honest opinion. Um, but very, very, very consistent pick as well. Like you wouldn't go wrong with Lieutenant Bellica at all if you picked her. Very, very strong. So Morigesh, I think this is the first character that I'm gonna put in B tier. Um, just very, very weak right now, in my honest opinion. She gets countered by basically everybody. A jungler jumps on her, no get out ability, but very, very strong nonetheless. If you want to just kill things and just dot them down with poison, that's definitely the playstyle for you. Then that's, yeah, it didn't go for her because she's very, very strong like that. But her getaway potential really isn't anything. She literally covers herself in bugs and she runs a little bit faster, and that's it. But she's very, very easy to catch up to and just kill right now. In my opinion, I think they need to buff her movement speed of that ability, in my honest opinion, to get her out quicker and just let her get out pretty free. So, but yeah, I think she's very, very, very weak right now, in my opinion. Next character, in my opinion, this is a character that I beloved and loved in Paragon, but in this game, I just don't quite see fond of him. Um, I mained this character in Paragon back in the day, but now he's pretty decent. I'm not gonna like he's pretty good, but I wasn't expecting his kit to be reworked back to his old kit. With the mines and with the speed boost and with his ultimate, and of course his ultimate and shotgun has always been a thing, but his mines and his speed boosts are completely like reworked. Mines are very, very good, but people just dodge it. I feel like that's just a complete use of like a useless ability sometimes. But I know how people use it. They usually throw it behind the character or behind their enemy and then use their shotgun to root them and then get a free kill. That's also a really good like play style of Murdoch, but not a fan of it. I really like the shield bash that stunned with the shotgun to his uh a shotgun to his ult or something like that, and just primary him down. Um, but I think he's a plus. I think he's very, very solid. Not too strong. Um, but very, very strong EDC pick for sure. So Muriel, I think Muriel is very, very strong to keep the whole team alive and making sure the whole team stays alive. Basically, she literally can use the whole map to her whole like advantage. If your right lane is getting ganked, your off lane's getting ganked, your mid lane's getting ganked, use her ultimate, get on them as soon as possible, and win that fight. It turns a 2v1 to a 2v2 immediately, and it's very, very strong. Her ultimate launches people up. They get a shield, you get a shield, you slow them, you use your consecration field, whatever it's called, I forgot what it's called. You if they're in it, they get hurt. If you're in it, you get buffed. It's just very, very strong, in my opinion. I think she's one of the best supports right now, is in the same line as Decker. Um, so very, very strong, very good. Narbash, probably one of the best supports in the game right now. If you can build him correctly and get his ability haste um really, really like fast and get those abilities back as soon as possible, get that mana up as soon as possible, he's very, very, very strong. His movement speed, and he basically can keep the whole team alive in team fights. Um, keep them, get them out of stuff if he needs to. Very, very good. Very, he's going to be put in S tier for sure. Like, there's no like questions asked about this character. He's very, very strong. Um, Phase. So Phase, in my opinion, is in the same line as Muriel and Decker. She's very annoying to play against because her beam of light that roots you, very annoying. It can be easily countered if you're, moving back and forth, that they don't got good aim, but they have good aim and they're tracking you constantly. It's very hard to dodge, and 9 times out of a 10, a good ADC support, a duo is always going to capitalize on that route no matter what. They're going to chip you out of your lane and they're going to make you push back so they can get that area on that lane for free. So very, very good. I think she can be an S or A plus tier right now with these three supports. Very, very strong. But I think uh, she's very outclassed by all the other supports that I put up in S tier. Another character that we have on the list is Rampage. My opinion, needs a buff. He's good, but I barely see him get used with other junglers off lanes and stuff like that. I think that he needs a little bit of a buff. Not too crazy. He's already pretty consistently strong, but I feel that he needs something to do with his ultimate or something. But every rampage that I've went to and that I've, played with, they don't do anything crazy. They just try to survive and tank, but at the end he gets dotted down and killed in the end. So it's not too crazy. Another character that needs a buff right here is Revenant. I think he's good, but I think he needs a buff for sure. Revenant is very strong with his primary and his abilities, but there's just something about him that he just needs something. Like his getaway, he doesn't have one. What he usually does, he has to waste his ultimate for him to get away half the time, which is not viable at all. With your ultimate, you want to solo a fight and a team fight so you can win that fight, so it turns into a 4v5. But that very rarely happens with Revenant. But in my opinion, needs a buff, movement speed. I don't know what you could do with him. Do more damage, I guess. I have no idea. Another character that's on the list right now is Richter. Oh my god, I can't tell you enough. This character is probably the best character in the game all around. Like support, amazing, jungle, and could use some work. Off lane and could use some work. Grux basically beats the shit out of him like 9 times out of 10. Um, but very good. His stuns, his his cooldowns are crazy. If you build into ability haste, he's gonna get those spears, get that ultimate back like in like 10-15 seconds. It's very fast. Very good. Like I said, best character in the game, going all the way on top of S tier. Very strong right now. If you can land those hooks, land those stuns, it's unstoppable. His silencing like spear thing, um, very unstoppable. If you build a tank build and ability haste build, he's unkillable. Um, Seraph. In my opinion, I'm a big fan of Seraph, but I gotta put her where she needs to be. Very strong jungle, very strong in off lane. Um, very popular, very popular with like lower elo. So of course she's very strong in lower elos. She gets this free Q ability that basically she teleports to your soul and just damages you for free. But she spawns like right next to you. But very strong nonetheless. Ease of use, very easy. There's nothing really crazy about her that's too complicated like Crunch. Crunch is more of a harder to easy to use but hard to master kind of character because he has different combo routes and different ability routes to do maximum damage and maximum like stuns and stuff like that. So, but Sarah, I think she's an A plus character. I think there's nothing wrong with her. Very strong right now if you build her correctly. Uh, but really late game, I think she starts to fall off with some of the S plus or S characters right here. Um, but yeah, very strong. But next character that I'm gonna go for is Sevarog. Sevarog is very good in the jungle and off lane. But I'm gonna go with off lane potential. very very strong. His roots, his getaway is very his matchup is basically Greystone. If you can get a Greystone Sevrog matchup, Sevrog wins like 9 times out of 10 because he's he can get out easy, he can knock him away. Um he's a bully. That's all I gotta say. Sevrog is just a bully. He roots, he stuns, he knocks them back, he can get out, he has a lot of life still with his grab, with his the minion grab. He goes into different forms. I think he has 4 forms in this game. I think 3 forms actually. Um, I think it's every 40 levels he goes all the way up. Blah blah blah. Gives him more physical power. You know, all that good stuff with Severog. But yeah, in my opinion, very very good. But I think he's probably A+ tier where Crunch is. Very ease of use, but hard to master kind of character. So Shinbi is gonna be next. Very, very strong if she's a jungler. I think I'm gonna probably rank her as a jungler. Very, very strong. Fast clear, fast get away, get in, get out kind of character. Do a crazy amounts of damage. Get those stacks on the people. Use your ult, kill that person, get out. That's literally her rotation of how she works in predecessor. Very very strong. Um, not too crazy. I think she's A+ character. Actually, one of the best junglers right now. I think she can be an S+ or S tier right now. She's very very strong. Next character is Still. Still is a very very strong support. I don't think he's really good on offlane. In my opinion, he's a tanky character, but he's very very strong as a support. In my opinion, if you have a good Still, very 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 hard to stop him. Because he's just going to get in your face, slow you, stun you, launch you up, punch you down. It is very, very, very strong if he can get in your face. Very hard to counter though, so I think I will put him in A tier. Kind of middle of the road, kind of support, ease of use, very easy. Not too crazy. Next character, the Faye. Faye surprised me with the buffs that she got in this recent patch. Very very strong. Her slow is very good. Her ultimate is probably one of the best ultimates as a mage, mid laner. She can end the fight like very very quick if there's a team fight. Very 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 fast. Um, it's just her kit's very combo oriented. You basically pop her ult if there's a team fight. Use her Q, use her E, and then use her little I think it's right click for her like armor piercing plant thing. I don't know, or seed. I have no idea, but very very good nonetheless. I think she can be an A tier, A+ tier actually for how strong she can be. Next character is Twin Blast. Probably one of the easiest carries in my opinion to use. Very viable, very very strong as well. I think he's going to be S tier. Uh, very strong, very easy to build. Has a getaway tool, which is his rocket dash. His passive is very strong. You basically do ability haste and damage on Twin Blast to get that ability wrap going on crazy. Get those abilities going. Get his attack speed going. Life still as well. Very very strong. If you build into Omnivamp, that's completely up to you. But in Paragon, I always did attack speed and lifesteal build, but in this game, if you just build strictly in the power, his passive is going to carry that attack speed for you. So you really don't gotta uh build in the lifesteal or attack speed really on Twin Blast. You can go many routes with Twin Blast, very consistent. Nothing wrong with him at all. Um, so yeah, he's going to be an S tier. Zaris, in my honest opinion, one of the strongest fighters, one of the strongest pokers in the game right now. He's a playmaker. He's just like Crunch, kind of like uh Grux as well. Like he's like a mixture between both. Like he can is very very strong. He can start a fight. He can end a fight very very quickly, and he can survive a lot. So in my opinion, I think Zaris is an S character. I don't know if this is what the whole predecessor community wants, but I think Zarus is very, very strong. I think he's very consistent on what he does. I think he can poke people out of lanes. He can steal buffs from people. Um, but yeah, I have no other words with Zarus because he's very annoying to play against if you're a Grux or a Greystone or really anybody on the off lane. He's very, very strong right now. A character that I think needs a buff was Getaway. Um, Getaway and just movement speed in general. She just gets outclassed by basically other ADCs on the list as Sparrow. Very, very strong basic attacks. Very, very strong. I'm talking about like you can chip away people in 3 shots with her. Very, very strong. Um, but her movement is what gets her killed 9 times out of 10. She can't get out of fights. Um, you have to use your blink ability, and that's of course on a 5-minute cooldown. So you won't have it for every single fight that you get into. So you're gonna be dying like 9 times out of 10 with her. But I think she's a B tier character, very strong, of course, with the basic attacks, and her abilities, of course. But she just lacks that movement, lacks that getaway potential, and just she gets outclassed by other ADCs. Um, Probably one of the best ADCs right now. Wraith. Wraith is just insane. I nothing I can say is just he's wild. I'm telling you, wild. He has a grenade that marks people, and he can use a sniper shot to shoot somebody to refresh that cooldown. He just he's unstoppable. Like, I don't know what they could do to change him other than just change his damage output completely. Because he's very, very strong right now. He has a getaway. His ult is basically a getaway tool if you use it correctly. It can also be an aggro ult as well. If someone's pushed up a little bit too far, pop their ult while they're running away. They come back, use a grenade, snipe them again. It's just very, very consistent. Very, very strong as well. If this is a character that you're looking into and you don't really know uh, how to build into them, go check my last video out. I did a whole build on it. Went 23-1. Crazy, crazy game. Played with some of my friends. But yeah, you can definitely check that out. But I have nothing else to say. You can watch that video and see for yourself how strong Wraith is. Another character that, in my opinion, is good, but I think he needs a buff. Sadly, Iggy and Scorch goes into needs buff. I don't know where I would put him on a ranking tier list, but other than that, he's not that strong, in my opinion. Fire damage is good. His dot damage is great, fantastic. But his get out potential, his just area of denial is very good as well. Like, but he can create space. But I feel like he's not consistent on getting kills. He's very fast at farming, which is good, but not very consistent on getting those kills, getting that ramp, getting. Uh, he just makes space. That's basically what his character is. But if he can get maybe a buff on his damage or dot damage on his fire damage, that would be very, very good for him. Gonna make him a little bit more consistent on the mid lane. Nothing else that I could say about him other than he just needs something with him. Quang, one of the strongest characters right now. He's very, very strong. They just nerfed him in this recent patch with his overshield by maybe just like a baby hair of a tweak. But I haven't seen too much crazy stuff on Quang, but I still think he's very, very strong. I used him in like 2 games on my Twitch stream. Very strong. If you build him correctly, he can be very, very unstoppable. He can get into fights in that fight immediately. So, my opinion, I think he's an S character. Um, Nothing else I could say. I think he's probably like bottom of S, probably mid tier S, but it doesn't really matter. He's just very, very strong, very consistent. You can build him very, very consistent. The newest character to come out is Argus. Very, very strong. He was very, very strong before this recent patch for the free to play patch. And this one, he's still very, very good. Probably one of the fastest wave clears on any character in the game. He puts his E down and then uses his right click, and that lane just basically dies. It's wild. But the thing I think that puts him back from other mid laners as well is his getaway potential. Of course, he can use his E to launch you up in the air and get people's aim off put, which is very very fun. He also has a stun, which is very good as well. Um, but yeah, I think he's very very good. So I think he's a plus character for sure. Um, but yeah, I think this is the tier list that I can think of. If you have any different sites and just any different like views on this tier list, let me know down in the comments down below of what you would change uh and how you would change it. And also, of course, like the characters that need buffs. If your character's in there, I'm sorry. Um, you could probably prove me wrong with those characters, but I still think that they get outclassed by like most of the characters on the tier list. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I also stream on twitch.tv/trickster whenever I can. I don't have a set schedule just yet, but it should be soon. But yeah, thank you for tuning in. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.